Hello and welcome to ETHR TV. My name is Rajesh Barnwal and I'm in conversation with Chandra Ganju, Executive Director, Group CPO, Trivitron Healthcare. We are going to talk about the parameters on which the success of an HR head should be judged, the major pain points that HR leaders often experience while adopting HR tech, and how to rework the HR policy to prepare for the new world. Chandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rajesh, for having me here.
Chandra Ganju started her professional career in sales and marketing at Trivitron in 1999. Since then, she has played a key role in various leadership positions at the company. So my first question for Chandra is, you have been with Trivitron Healthcare for more than 20 years. What do you like most about the company?
Hey, can I request you to rephrase the question because Rajesh, frankly speaking, I would like you to ask me what I don't like in this company. I'm in this
Really?
company for the last 2 decades, and trust me, even today when I walk in the office, it's almost like a new day for me, like it's the first day on the job.
Okay.
The excitement, the hope, the eagerness is same what it was 20 years back.
Mhm.
And I think it is majorly because Trivitron is a growing company, and when it's a growing company, things change very fast.
Mhm.
And automatically you need to get to new, different, and very challenging things very very frequently. So there are so many new things to learn on regular basis, which keeps my job very interesting and very exciting all the time. And especially when you spend a long period in one company, you become a part of the system. And when you're a part of the system, you automatically take the ownership of the system.
Mhm.
And I think your contribution is not limited to your core job. Then you try to find the loopholes in the system and you start repairing it. So basically, if you ask me, I have a huge canvas to paint on. So what else do you need? That is this is like a dream job for me. And Trivitron is based on pillars of trust and transparency. And I think that is what I like the most about the organization. There is absolute transparency within the system, and we proudly call ourselves as Indian multinational company. And it has a very strong flavor of those Indian values where you respect each other, where you would like to work as a big one family. And
Mhm.
I'm sure all the colleagues in my company carry the same feeling. And I think that makes Trivitron a very very special and a beautiful organization to work for.
Wow. Okay, could you please tell me briefly about the current staff strength of the company and its composition?
See, we are around 1,500 plus employees,
Mhm.
and we are operating from India and multiple international locations.
Okay.
Presently, as a company, our gender ratio is around 70/30. However, some of our locations like Turkey, it is a 99% women-centric organization there. And
Mhm.
even in Finland, we have around 80% of our employees as women. And from the age purpose point of view, if you ask me, we are a very young organization that way. And our average age should be around 35 years old. And attrition, you asked me, was around 19%, which is very normal within our medical industry.
So, could you please tell me something about the factors about the so favorable gender ratio in Turkey and Philippines? Was there any special initiative, some steps that the company took, something like that, the reasons for that?
From the Turkey point of view, you're
Yeah,
asking,
right,
right?
right.
Yeah, see, I'm sure you may be knowing about the European systems more, they are
Mm-hmm.
completely different from the Indian system, And when we talk about our Turkey organization, it is
Mm-hmm.
basically a manufacturing, R&D, and
Okay.
a service, lab service unit, what we have there. And R&D, even for that matter, even if you ask me, in India, the scenario is completely changing, There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women in coming in R&D now. And Turkey per se, they have this kind of, the history, if you check the medical healthcare history of Turkey that way, you see, I mean, it's majorly dominated by women
Mm-hmm.
in scientific affairs. And that's what
Okay.
is happening for us in Italy, in Turkey. That the complete R&D is run by our female employees. The production is more or less around 90-95% by the female employees. And
Mm-hmm.
sales and marketing is still male dominated, and that is what we are leaving aside right now.
Okay. How has the company reworking its HR policy to prepare for the new world?
I think, Rajesh, we are in a very difficult situation. And I
Okay.
think
Correct.
still, till today, I mean, nobody is able to predict this virus, what is going to happen in future. None of us have any perfect solution for that, and none of us can even predict it. So looking at the present circumstances, I think even the best of the experts can't say, okay, this is my strategy, this is how I'm going to work in future. So, however, if we take the major takeaways from the last 11 months, what we have gone through, I think we have to be very flexible with our plans so that if there is a need, we are swift enough to change it to something else. Our actions need to be very, very, fast. And I think no machine, no artificial intelligence, no technology can replace human touch and human connection. That is what we have learned in the last 11 months, all of us.
Sure.
And I think restructuring strategy, it differs from industry to industry. For example, if we talk about Trivatron, we are in manufacturing of medical equipments and diagnostic equipments and reagents. So, in manufacturing and production, what happens? You have to be physically present in the factory. It can't be virtually happening.
Right.
So, if once your production starts, your quality person has to be there. If your quality is doing their job, your regulatory has to be there. So it becomes a chain of event. So for us, actually, nothing changed in our factory functioning. In fact, we were operational all along during the COVID, during the lockdown, except maybe the initial days of lockdown in the month of March. Except that I think we were fully operational from April onwards till date. But still, if we take the, if we had to move ahead and quickly plan something, I think the fact remains that the world had changed, and IT definitely has become the backbone of all our operations. So now our all HR operations are automated. Employee data management and data mining has played a very, very important role during the pandemic. So that definitely is the focus for us, and creating self-experience platforms, because that is something which everybody can do on their own. And creating, spending time on young talent and future leaders is something which is in future plans.
Okay, when it comes to adopting HR technology, what are the major pain points that you have experienced so far?
See, adopting HR technology was not a challenge for us because we were already a HR automated organization since long. And almost all our HR processes are automated in Trivatron, starting from your staffing to talent management to performance management to learning management to even exit. So the only part which was missing was employee engagement through online platform, which we started doing lockdown because there was no other choice. There was no other option available. So overall, if you ask me, we were lucky enough that HR was technologically prepared when the lockdown started. So we frankly didn't experience any major hiccups.
Okay, what are the parameters on which the success of an HR head should be judged?
That's a very difficult question, actually. And I don't think I will have that perfect answer what you are looking for to,
Yeah, okay.
Because I think HR is the backbone of any organization, and I do hold them responsible for all good, bad, and ugly things happening in the organization, since they are responsible for the entire life cycle of any employee in an organization. They play multiple roles in any organization. So managing employees from their entry to exit is what HR is supposed to do, managing their performance management, performance to their engagement plans, to their skill development, to their health and financial needs. That's all the HR job. So I don't think you can judge them on any of one particular parameter and say, okay, this thing is good and this thing is bad. But if I had to give you an answer, I think it should be the happiness index of the organization, because it automatically covers all the aspects of HR, So if you see the happiness index of any organization is on the higher side, I think HR is doing a fairly good job.
Okay, how do you see the importance of HR function to help the management achieve their overall business goals?
I think, Rajesh, you may be knowing HR has completely changed in the last, I think, 1 decade,
Right.
more than just by hiring and firing of people. I think HR has become very business oriented right now. And depending from company to company, the role of HR is completely changing. If I talk about Trivatron per se, HR is supposed to be the business partner in every unit what we have, and that's what the HR is doing. That's why if you see all of my HR managers, they won't be majorly on engagement plans or something, they will be majorly in the business calls. You'll be seeing them majorly in the sales review and sales strategic meetings. So HR is playing a fantastic role, not only from people management, it is the process management also, it is the business management also. So overall, I think if you, but unfortunately, if you see HR has never been appreciated in the past and the present, I don't know about the future, but I think it's a fantastic job what HR, and if you see the last 11 months of pandemic, I think you have to give it to the HR. It was a Herculean task for every HR to, monitor their people, to make sure that people are doing their jobs, to make sure that the people get the jobs, first of all, to, keep them engaged. So as of now, HR is doing a multitasking job of typical employee management to business management also and to strategic management also.
So do you think in the last 1 year, the appreciation, the amount of appreciation has increased or has come forward?
Have you heard anything about HR? Somebody appreciating HR? I have not heard. But I don't think it's a more of an appreciation, but I think, frankly speaking, all around, if you see, HR has done a fantastic job, because it's not an easy job of, following your people, even if it's a small organization of 30 people to 3,000 people to 30,000 people, it has been the HR job in the last 11 months to make sure that people are safe, to make sure that salaries are paid on time, to make sure that they are able to engage them, I think they need some appreciation from everybody around.
Okay, you have already reached the CXO level. So what next? What are the career goals that you would like to achieve now?
Yes, I am in the board. I am one of the CXO members in the company. However, I still feel I have a lot to contribute in the company. And presently, I'm spending my major time in all new business initiatives. And I'm spending a lot of time in grooming a lot of youngsters in the company, who will take leadership position in the company in due course of time. And right now, if you ask me what is left in my bucket list, is I want to be a very active member of the team who will take this company to public listing. And I think with God's grace, that should happen sometime soon.
Okay, what would be your key priority this year?
Like I told you, we are majorly a R&D manufacturing company. Not much has changed for us, in the sense that, like if you see, a lot of industries are still, a lot of people, people are working from home, it's a virtual office still for them. For me, in our company, I think from July onwards, we have 100% people in the field or in the factories or in the offices. So our plan, which was already planned sometime back, is still same. We are majorly going to focus. One is the integration of our international and Indian, systems and units. What we have, like I told you, we have our offices in Americas and Europe and Africas and different parts of the globe. So the integration part is still happening, because you can't have one stick and you can say that, okay, it's applicable to all. We are trying to integrate the processes of all the functions and all the verticals what we have all over. So I think we have a long list in HR this year, from integration of all the functions in HR what we have, so that at some point of time we have one centralized system of managing this our HR operations, which seems to be happening now, because everything is getting into digital, so it looks doable. Like, and second important thing I told you is something what we call as Young Turks, which is basically the young population in our company, whom we are grooming for different positions, not only leadership. It can be project based, it can be something of very specific generalized positions or very specialized positions. So a lot of focus is being given to youngsters in the company, who we call as Young Turks, and there's a special program being done for them. We have something called a Chairman's Club member, which is a special program being run for the high performers in the company. So there are a lot of special programs this year, more focused, because we want to give a lot more to people, to keep them engaged, to keep them motivated, and to provide them skill and a lot of training and development. That is in the plan.
Could you please share one best practice to acquire great talent at the company?
Rajesh, I told you, you cannot have, see, for example, if let's say if you are good in compensation, if as an organization we are paying well to our employees and we expect them to stay back with us, it's not going to happen. And if, for example, there's a company which is giving a lot of opportunities to a person, and they presume that he will stick on, it doesn't work that way. So it's basically a combination of everything. You need to pay your employees, as per their skills. You need to make sure that they keep on growing in the company. And when I'm saying growing, it doesn't mean only the commercial money part or the designation part. I'm saying it's more of their individual and intellectual, skills what need to grow. Because at the end of the day, whether they work for you or they work for me, they have to move on in the life. So I think the overall development, the individual development of every individual in any organization is something what we as HR and as organizations need to look at. If you are taking care of all the aspects of an individual, from his mental health to his physical health to his core technical skills, and obviously the compensation, it all you have to package it well, and I think it works good after that.
Okay, what's your message for the women HR professionals?
For I think every woman out there, we know that each day is different. Sometimes it's very difficult, sometimes very challenging, and sometimes we do lose hope. But trust me, it's absolutely fine. We are humans, and let's not try to prove anything to anyone. And we know that we are capable of doing. We can be hands-on moms. We can be a perfect homemaker, a caring partner, great cook, and a CEO of the company. At the same time, we have done it in the last 11 months. I think we have done it, and we don't need to prove it more. So please chill, behave, believe in yourself, take care of your health. And one thing is never, ever quit, keep on moving.
Thank you, Chandra, for sharing your thoughts and insights with ETHR World.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you for being with me, and thanks a lot.
That was Chandra Ganju. Thank you so much for watching ETHR TV. Stay connected with ETHR World for a comprehensive insight on everything that matters in the HR world.